Hey everyone, it's Sarah. Welcome to another video. As you can tell from the title of this video, it's my very first book haul video. I have 8 books to show you, and 5 of them I got from my oldest sister, and she just gave them to me because she didn't want them anymore, and she thought that I would like the books. I read the synopsises of the books and thought that they were pretty interesting, so I kept them. She gave them to me last year, and I want to say sometime around springtime. There are also 3 books that I actually got myself, and those are a little bit newer. I got them sometime like a little bit at the end of last year. Some of these books I've never heard of before, and those are kind of older books, and I never really saw anyone talking about them on BookTube before, so that's probably why I never heard of them before. Since I'm not really that great at explaining what books are about, unless if I've probably read the book, I'm gonna just be explaining what genre the book is and a little bit about what the book is kind of about. Or if you want to know more about each book, then I will be leaving links to them in the description down below, so that way you can know what the book actually is about. So let's get on to showing you all of my books that I got. The first book I have to show you is a book that I'm pretty sure some people or a lot of people have heard of, but I actually never heard of this book until last year, and I think it's a popular book, and that book is Across the Universe by Beth Revis. All I know about this book from reading the synopsis is that it sounds like it's a sci-fi book, and it has to do with space. And it could also be like a dystopian one, like in the future. That's all I'm getting from what the synopsis kind of is about, like what kind of genre it is. It sounds really interesting, so I will probably plan on reading it this year. The next book I have to show you is a bind-up of 2 books into one, and I never heard of this book either. I don't know if any of you have, but I kinda have heard of this author before, but never read any of her work, and that is Inside by Maria V. Schneider. I don't know what kind of genre this is just by reading the synopsis, but it sounds kind of interesting, where it's kind of might be a futuristic kind of book. I'm not sure. I don't know. So I don't exactly know what this book is really about, even though I just from reading the synopsis, I don't really know exactly what it's about. I guess it would be a really interesting read. The next book I have to show you is a fairy tale retelling kind of book. I've never heard of this book either until last year, and it sounds really interesting, and I really do like fairy tale retellings. And that book is Once by Cameron Doki. I don't know if that's how you actually pronounce the last name, but I'm just going with it. Once is about all of these fairy tale retelling stories combined into one giant book. Like, yeah. I don't know exactly how many stories are in here. I didn't really count, but there are a lot of them, and they're of all kinds of different fairy tales, like the typical, Snow White, Cinderella, Little Mermaid, or even other ones that are not so typical, like Mulan and other ones. I really do love fairy tale retellings because I read Sisters Red back in 2012, and I really did like it, and I kind of wanted to read a little bit more of Jackson Pierce's fairy tale stories, which I might do in this year. I am actually wanting to plan on reading Cinder, like the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, because tried to read Cinder. I've read one chapter, the first chapter of Cinder, but then I couldn't get through the rest of it and I had to bring it back to the library, so I had it for too long. So I might go ahead and just pick that up again and read it, because at that time I was like in a really big reading slump. So this I'm really looking forward to reading sometime this year. The next book I have to show you is, again, another book I've never heard of before until last year, and this book actually sounds kind of interesting to me. More interesting because since I've read The Hunger Games and Maze Runner, and I'm pretty sure this book was popular at the time when it came out. I'm not 100% sure if it was. That book is The Forsaken by Lisa M. Staz. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her last name right. I'm hoping that I am, but I'm sorry if I'm not. This book actually sounds really interesting. It sounds very similar to Hunger Games and Maze Runner, and more Hunger Games I think of Maze Runner though. I don't know. Both of them equally, and I know that this book came out before the Maze Runner did. I don't remember if it came out before Hunger Games or after. It's a dystopian kind of book, I think. That's what it sounds like to me. In a futuristic world. Planning on reading this pretty soon in this year. The next book I have to show you is another book I've never heard of before, and it does actually sound really interesting because it's a mystery kind of book, and I love mysteries. And that book is Secret Letters by Leah Shire. Now this book is about Sherlock Holmes' daughter. When my older sister told me that this was a story about Sherlock Holmes' daughter, I was just like, what? I didn't know he had a daughter, and I didn't read any of the Sherlock Holmes books, but I have seen the movies, and I'm planning on watching the Sherlock show soon, or sometime this year, but I am really looking forward to reading this sometime this year. The next book I have to show you is a book that I got sometime at like around summertime. I think it was probably, I want to say at the end of July or the beginning of August, somewhere around that time. I was really excited to get this book finally and to have it in my hand. I have been wanting to read this book for a long time, and I have read like 5 chapters of it, and I just put it down because I wanted to save it for like a perfect time to actually read it when I'm kind of more in the mood for it. And that book is Descent, Son of a Mermaid by Katie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to read this book for so long, and so far from what I read, as you can tell, I was like, there's a bookmark in there. 5 chapters only, and if you don't know this about me, I love anything to do with mermaids and mermen, and I can't wait to continue reading this, because this is actually a series. It's the first book in a series. There's a second book out, and the third book was supposed to be out last year, but then, you know, publishing company got changed to something different, and they did a whole book cover change to it too, so that's why it's this book cover. The original book cover actually looked like this, and I don't know, I really like both of them, but I think I feel more in love now with this book cover than the original book cover. Clearly, you already know what this book is then of a genre. It's a fantasy book, and it's clearly, as I said before, about mermaids and mermen. I'm pretty sure a lot of people, or no one actually, has ever heard of this book before on BookTube, or ever. I will probably do a book review on this when I'm actually done reading it, because again, as I said before, I'm a big fan of, or a huge fan of mermaids and mermen and everything to do with that. So yeah. The next book I have to show you is kind of a book. It's a graphic novel, and it's a graphic novel I've been wanting for a while, and it's actually the first graphic novel I have ever owned. That graphic novel is the Scorched Trials graphic novel. I got this on the day after we saw, me and some of my siblings went to see Mockingjay Part 2. Like on that day after that, we went to Walmart, and I originally was gonna get a different book, but they didn't have it there. So I saw this and it's like, hey, I've been wanting to read this for a long time, and it was also the last one that was there. So I just grabbed it, paid for it, of course, and just walked out of Walmart. Like, at least I didn't go to Walmart for nothing. I at least got one thing that I did really want. So I'm really excited to read this graphic novel. The first ever graphic novel I've ever owned or gonna actually read. And this is actually not like the book in graphic novel form. It's actually like a prequel to the movie, where it has the Group B girls in it, and it tells a little bit more about their story and their maze and their situation, and even Eris is in it too and everything, from what I heard and kind of took a sneak peek of it. I didn't read anything, but I did actually see what was going on in there and who was in it and everything. The last book I have is a book that I've been wanting since I've read the sequel to it, and it's a part of a trilogy. It's the final book in the trilogy, and it's James Dashner's kind of still, or yeah, new trilogy. And this is actually the book that I was originally wanting to get at Walmart after we went to see Mockingjay Part 2, but they didn't have it there, so I ended up getting the Scorched Trials graphic novel, and that is The Game of Lives by James Dashner. This is the conclusion to the trilogy. You know, the first book is The Hive Minds, the second book is The Rule of Thoughts, and then the third, The Game of Lives. I've yet to start reading it. I will plan on reading it sometime very soon because I'm excited to find out how it all ends. So I can't wait for it. And I just love these covers, and the spine of the book is, the spines, all three of them are so shiny. It's very shiny. Yeah, I'm very, very excited to finally read the conclusion to the trilogy. So that was all of the books that I have to show you today that I got throughout last year. And I do have a Christmas book haul, even though it's kind of a little late to do a Christmas book haul. I did get books for Christmas. I got 5 books for Christmas, and I will be showing them in my Christmas book haul, which will be coming out sometime soon, really soon, I promise, because I really do want to film it and get it out for you guys. And then after that, I will be filming my TBR video. So please tell me in the comments below if you have read any of these books that I showed you. If you have, then please let me know if it was really good. Did you like it? Is it worth the read? I hope you enjoyed this video, my very first book haul video. I hope you liked it. I hope I did well, because I obviously never done a book haul before. I hope I did do well. Let me know if I did okay in the comments below, saying like, oh, you did good, or I could do something to improve it or not. So that's it for this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you thought I did okay, then please give it a thumbs up. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you have an amazing day. I love you all so much. And remember to look out for my next video, which will be coming out sometime soon. Bye, fellow book lovers.